everyone. It's Erin Ashley Simon.
And this is Brandon Killabh.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Grassroots Podcast. It's not just about your past, your present, but your future too. I had to throw that little extra. Hello, how you doing?
Erin went and got some Wheaties and some shit. Woke up on the good foot today. Jesus,
Hey,
all right.
it's what you get for 7 hours of sleep.
Oh, my God. Listen, man, it's a sad day for hip-hop.
And why is that?
Jimmy I's leaving Apple, man.
Gasp.
Yeah, he pulled the Chappelle and said, fuck this, I quit. Started trashing the Apple office and left. Rumor mill has it. His shares have finally vested, and he's saying, fuck y'all, I'm out. He hasn't said where he's going. He said that he's going to focus on streaming. There's a big area of opportunity for streaming. He feels that he can fix it. I think he can fix it if he actually focuses on it, and he's not trolling us just by quitting and going off into the desert. I guess my only real issue is I'm really mad that he can just walk out of his office and quit. Like, he just has the luxury to just say, hey, listen, I'm done. Like, I want to feel that rich one day, to be able to just walk out and just say, yeah, I'm going to holler at y'all later. just clean my desk out and just be out. Like,
I'm going to be, well, he may be back, though. He could just be like, all right, I want to do my own thing for a bit. But I'm consulting.
Nah, he's chucking the deuces. He said but that's the thing in art. He's doing, like, how you go on a press run for quitting your job? Like, that's the other ill shit. He's doing interviews like, yo, I left. I wasn't feeling it anymore.
Trying to find myself.
I'm not with the energy anymore that Apple is bringing in these recent years. So I'm out.
But I can't lie, I'm actually interested to see what he does, because when he talks about streaming, I wonder if he's talking about like the money side of it, where artists aren't really getting paid what maybe they should have gotten from their songs, or the whole podcast thing. Tidal's starting to bring more podcasts on, so I'm wondering if that's like what he may go into. It's so vague. It's like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah. Or is he taking a stance because he feels like artists and or creators are trying to level up and get more money? He says, no, I will not pay you.
Evil.
Nah, but it's interesting. I'm curious to see what happens with it. I think he's a genius, with beats, NWA, just everything he's done musically and or technology-wise, and all of the constant innovations throughout the years. I'm curious to see what he does. Sucks for Apple, because I don't really know. And Apple is Apple. They'll always be great. But who do you now focus or give your attention to and trust with the Apple brand from a listening perspective?
Well,
because he's out.
And on top of that, some of my coworkers had this argument. When it comes to streaming, do you stream from Apple Music more or Spotify more, and why?
Apple Music for me. It's something about Spotify. I don't like the colors of Spotify. I'm petty. I don't care. You can look at me like I don't care. Green and
colors.
Green and black looks very odd to me. I don't. But the other thing, it matters. The aesthetics of it for me, the way it looks. It doesn't look cool, like young. Does that make sense? You're looking at me like I'm a serial killer.
I'm just trying to listen to music. I don't care if it looks aesthetically pleasing or not. That's the one thing I like about Spotify, though, that I feel like Apple Music could do better, is like finding new talent. And I think Spotify, honestly, personally, has better playlists. But the one thing I do like about Apple is the rollout that they have for like big artists, big songs and stuff, like when Drake drops something or anything like that. So I like that. But
you can't say Drake. Drake ain't he ain't fucking with Apple either.
Well, I'm saying before though. Not now.
He sent them shots on that Wayne record. He ain't fucking with them right now. He's you know what I mean? Hove tried to tell him he wasn't gonna get his worth, and he said, I'm gonna try my hand. So here we are. That's another thing. Yo, Apple maybe. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Never mind. They may be pulling a complex.
Oh,
maybe. I don't know. Anywho, I'm curious to see what happens here with this, because that's gonna be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Or if him and Dre go off and try and do something together.
Well, that's the other thing. They legitimately could do that. Both geniuses in one room. That's how they came up with beats and did those. So they could do it if they wanted to. But I guess they got to be in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really want to do it. From these articles and these press runs, he don't really give a shit. He don't really care, to do anything at this point. He just knows that there's a problem that doesn't mean he's gonna go fix it. So
maybe he'll get people to fix it, or he'll create a company and get those people to fix it.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a blessing to have money.
Word, man.
It is a blessing to have money. Let me tell you that.
All right. Well, in later news, Kendrick Lamar is going to be curating the soundtrack for Black Panther. I said Black Panther. I can't even talk right now. Black Panther. Black Panther. And that's messed up. I'm black and messing up the Black Panther movie and title. That's horrible. I should be ashamed of myself. All right. Anywho. So, yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yes.
Can I give my concerns?
Go ahead. I have no choice.
My concerns are I'm a Marvel guy. This is a very crucial movie for Marvel.
Yes.
Given the time where we are in the world, and Kendrick just being he's really like a Black Panther of sorts. So I don't want, and this may sound really crazy, but I don't really care. I don't want the Black Panther soundtrack to sound Black Panther-esque, meaning I like Marvel movies to be Marvel movies. Let me be a kid again and enjoying the music and the action and all of the cinematic and or things that go into watching a movie. I don't want to be distracted by the music, being too deep where I'm just like, damn, man, I'm thinking about slavery while Black Panther is climbing up a wall.
Oh,
I don't want to think about that. I do think he'll do it justice because Kendrick Lamar is a genius, but I am a wee bit concerned with that. I am.
I mean, it's not going to just be him. Also, he's going to have the head of TDE. So I think I'm comfortable in Kendrick Lamar picking because I think he understands that. But also, I'm curious to see like what artists he's going to put on that. Because the one thing I like about Kendrick is that he has no problem putting rising people on his projects, or really dope people, or collaborating with people like Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. Like those are really dope people that I think should get their limelight. So I'm curious to see what kind of artists they're going to also have on that soundtrack, knowing him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true too. I mean, I know he collaborated with Lamar and not Lamar. What am I talking about?
Whoa!
I meant to say label mate SZA. So I'm wondering if we'll get a lot of that on the project, which would be great. I'm curious to see. And for the listeners, I'm joking. I'm not really. Those aren't my real concerns, but it is kind of my concern a little bit. But nevertheless, I'm curious to see what the soundtrack sounds like. And I'm a big movie soundtrack guy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like Boomerang soundtrack, fire. 50 Shades of Grey, 1 and 2 soundtracks, fire.
You watched the movie though?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Hey.
Yeah, gotta watch the movie. Movie great. I'm not mad at it. Great. The first one was okay. The second one was a little better.
The books were better, honestly.
I didn't read the books.
I did.
I can't do that.
I did. Very graphic.
Yeah, well, women are supposed to be reading it. I got a pass for just even watching the movie. Nevertheless, so yeah, I'm big on soundtrack movies being really, really good. So I'm hoping that this will be good and be on point. What do we think the outcome of this movie will be for Marvel? Do you think Marvel is looking at this movie the same way all of America is looking at this movie? Like, yo, number one, this is the Black Panther. Everyone in the universe, if you followed Marvel and or that character, you know how important this character is just for all of the reasons of the title. Yeah. So, I mean, do you think Marvel is giving it that same emphasis as well, or?
I mean, I would hope so. Do you see that cast there? Like, there is some award-winning cast members on there. I am not trying to flunk this movie with Angela Bassett on it. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what's the other guy? They killed the other dude, which is, I think it was stupid. But Michael B. Jordan is in the movie, and they're killing him because he said he's dating white women or something like that.
Oh, well, okay, wait, let's clarify now. Yeah, Marvel is killing him for that.
Not Marvel. But
other people
are killing him.
Twitter world is killing him for that.
They're killing him for dating white women. I don't understand that. They said that because he's in the Black Panther movie that he can't date white women. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not-
I do
don't
know
really
he
care.
likes black women though. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like he's like anti.
yeah, I think that was a reach. I just think that it was stupid, and he's not even a main character. So whatever.
He's
It's
a
not
villain.
Yeah, he's a villain.
So they made him a villain in real life.
They're trying to.
He went
They're
from
trying
the
to spin him as a villain.
he went from the boxing ring to
Black Twitter's so horrible.
being in an Oreo. Chocolate vanilla swirl.
Oh my God, you're out of control. Oh, don't ever lick the mic again. All right,
I didn't lick. I went.
All right, Erin, just settle down. Jesus, what are you drinking in that water? All right,
Water.
Oh man. All right. So, on more serious topics, Erin, you can touch on this part because this is a bit much.
Okay. Yeah. So, where do I start with this? Let's start with the fact that this YouTuber, Logan Paul, went to Japan, made a lot of inappropriate and disrespectful videos over Japan, but the icing on the cake was him filming a dead body in the forest that is known for people to go in there and to take their lives. It's the nickname is called the Suicide Forest. Goes in there, films it, basically acts like, he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was just in shock. He's just trying to, kind of talk about suicide and all that stuff. That is not the appropriate way whatsoever. And the worst thing about it, honestly, was his apology. Like, I don't think he was sincere about it. Like, if you were really sincere, you would have edited out the dead body, not actually show it. That's the forest where people take their lives. It's not like he went into the freaking Poconos and ran across someone. But even still, if you did, why you would take that out? Well, it's not live.
Well, my thing is, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, people, for the listeners. I gotta play devil's advocate.
Oh Lord.
I think we live in a world that is focused around content, right? Because he is a YouTuber and because he often obviously has to put out recent and or relevant content or intriguing content, he probably looked at this as an opportunity to put out content that was breathtaking, eye-catching, whatever may have you. With that said, I think this was the dumbest idea you could have ever done in the universe. I think I see here that says 2,000 people, they signed a petition to have him kicked off of YouTube. I think YouTube, the company itself, should really take action. And I understand that there's a thin line because it's a platform and it's freedom of expression, creativity. I get all of that. But when you got idiots doing shit like that and there's no form or repercussion for certain things like that, something's kind of got to happen at that point. Like, you can't really let that rock if I'm YouTube.
Well, another thing too is like, even though that this caused a big uproar, the amount of likes on that video before it caused an uproar, it just shows you how desensitized our world really is. Like, there's these young kids that are, like, even when he gave his apology, there's a young kid saying like, oh, he's made a mistake, all this and that. Okay, now mind you, if someone makes a mistake one time, okay, I understand that. But this guy is known for getting into trouble a lot. And he had videos before where he was disrespecting people, like going in Japan, dressing up like Pikachu, throwing Pokeballs at cars and people. He also dressed up in like Japanese attire and was like trying to like speak. He's like trying to say certain words in Japanese, but didn't even try. Like, he was going crazy.
So wait, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Why would you go and try to slander Pikachu? No, all right, forget it. No?
Well, no, but he was doing more than just that. It was just more so like he was just being mad disrespectful that entire time. So it wasn't like just one video.
Oh wait, so he has a history of just being an asshole at this point. Like, this isn't this. I thought this was like the first thing.
No, that's why it's a bigger uproar, because he's done some things that are very disrespectful, and he did more videos in Japan where he was disrespectful the entire time.
All right, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. All right, so I can't even play devil's advocate here.
No,
at
and
this point, he's just a dickhead. Like,
and
he's just doing stuff not really caring about the outcome and or how people feel about it.
No. And there's a video. There's this guy who's actually from Japan who talked about it, and he was just like, you know, he's upset when people say that people in Japan are so nice, even when like someone like him does something bad. And he was just like, you're abusing the culture. We're not we're a non-confrontational culture. Just because we don't say anything doesn't mean that we're not upset. Like, you could see people's faces. They were disgusted in the video. He was just like, you're just disrespecting our culture entirely. And you think it's funny. Yeah. Like, I think he went to a religious place and was like being loud and throwing coins and stuff. Like, you wouldn't do that going to a church here. Yeah, you wouldn't do nah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. He's getting a pass for some obvious reasons. My thing is this: reading this, he said he didn't do it for views, and he stressed that popularity wasn't his major thing. He did it to bring awareness for suicide prevention. I feel like that's
trash. I'm sorry. That's such a trash comment.
Yeah, I feel like there's a special place in hell for people like that want to use race issues or use such a sensitive topic like suicide as a form or gimmick for their benefit, not as a gimmick in a way to change something or to alter one's thinking in a positive way. I think that's just retarded. And
if he wanted to do that, he could have at least had it where it's like if he didn't know, even though obviously he did, but let's just say you go into a forest and you run up against someone who took their own life. You don't film them. You may film your reaction and then do after and be like, wow, that was so hard for me to see, to walk up on. You could talk about it after and then be like, you don't realize how much that may impact people's lives. There's ways that you can do it that's more tasteful than filming someone's dead body and then being like, this is what suicide looks like. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. In general, I didn't know all of that about him. So
yeah, I can't lie. I got mad. I didn't even look at the video, but I got mad when I heard, because I know people who have tried to take their own lives, and doing it that way is just it's terrible.
Yeah, but my thing is, I wonder if he's ever even experienced that. Or knows someone that's experienced that, for him to take so lightly to such a serious matter. You know what I mean? People really lose their lives on a consistent basis or can't deal with life and obviously take the easy way out, which to me is one of the hardest ways out, taking your own life. But for you to make light of it or to make it as a content piece is just distasteful. So I really hope something more happens to him, in a sense of something life-altering has to happen for him in order for him to realize that there's certain things that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I don't know if anything's going to happen. And I hate to say that. I'm not saying that to be a pessimist, but, with the amount of fans that he has and his, let's just say, situation. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
I don't think anything serious is going to happen to him. Yeah, he may lose endorsements and stuff like that, but he still has that fan base that liked that video that still gives him a pass for it. That's the power of brand loyalty. I mean, we've seen it in a positive way, but this is a negative way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to really get that much trouble or anything for this, to be very frank and honest.
He probably won't. And it's a shame. Again, if I'm YouTube, stand for something, do something about it. Certain things you have to have a code of conduct, a kind of structure in how you handle certain things like this, or it should be your credo to at least have some sort of integrity when dealing with content, because you have a responsibility there, right? You're giving people platforms, and that's great, but at some point you have to kind of draw the line, and this would be a perfect opportunity for them to do that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think they should. Do we want to talk about Dr. Love a little bit, or? Oh my gosh! Well, I think
drawing the line.
I know, but I'm fascinated with this.
Oh my gosh!
So Dr. Love, I don't know if you guys remember, but this was the kid who was 17 at the time. He started and posed as a doctor. In South Florida, started his own medical facility and was actually treating women. He's now 20 and it was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Okay, where do I start here? Where do I start?
The fact that anytime a news article has Florida in it, I'm expecting it to be something wild and crazy.
Yeah.
That's why when they said it was in Florida, I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
There's some crazy stuff going on down there.
Can I tell you, though, and this is going to sound wild, but I think that this kid is a genius, and I think that, just humor me. Just humor me. I know this sounds crazy. I think that he's a genius only because he was able to really start a business, treat women effectively, and keep it running. Like, even if you've ever seen his interviews, it was almost like he was media trained. It was almost like he knew medical terminologies, and it almost was like if I would have never heard about him, his age, or what had happened, I would have believed him. And I could see how women believed him. So I say that the reason why I think that he's a genius, because at that age, being at 17 and starting your own business, that you have to have some sort of intellect or some sort of, you have to think differently. You know what I'm saying? At that age. Now, with that said, and that was a good part. You have to be a fucking serial killer. Like, think about this.
Mm-hmm. Number one. He is number one.
Yeah, he got to be number one on my list. I thought about it. I was like, yo, we haven't talked about serial. He's got to be number one on the list for serial killers. Like, he really was doing press runs and talking about, this is an injustice, and, they're going against his constitutional rights as a black man and starting his own business. Like, fam, he's really crazy, though. Yeah. And we've talked about this before where, you're some of the most talented people in the world are, in fact, crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. I wonder, can he be cured in a sense? Like, can we treat him? Like, what would he even be like coming out? He's still very young in jail, so he'll get out at 23. Still really has his life ahead of him. What does that mean for him?
He gonna come out a tattoo artist.
Do you think he's gonna try to treat people in jail? Like, he's gonna
probably tell me how you feel.
Yeah, tell me, start checking people's pulses,
psychologists and stuff.
Like, really think about it. He could do a lot.
Oh my gosh, listen. There's certain degrees and everything like that or jobs that people could kind of get away with, but like as a doctor, like. No, you are crazy. Like, I'm surprised they're not. I hope they do mental evaluations during the whole process. Like, what point in your childhood made you want to be like, you know what, I'm just going to fake being a doctor. But then again, those student loans, though.
Yo,
I kind of understand.
That's what I'm saying. Them loans, man.
Student loans. But if he treated me, I definitely would have flipped out.
But, all right, so humor me.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Love. You're my patient.
Okay.
I treat you for your symptoms. I cure you. You're good. You walk out jamming. You good money. What's the beef?
I could have gotten poisoned. I don't know how crazy you are. It's like the start of like a murder movie or something like that.
But you did not get poisoned. You didn't get poisoned. You gave me your symptoms. I was smart enough to cure those symptoms or treat those symptoms, rather. And you walked out better than ever. Why are you beefing at me? I'm Dr. Love, baby. I'm out here giving out love.
Because I put my life on your hands, and you just look up WebMD like everyone else does to diagnose yourself, and then all of a sudden, like, nah, B, I'm not for that, especially because I'm getting hip surgery, and then you tell me, oh, let me go in and just...
Okay.
Heck no.
Okay, but did you die, though?
It doesn't matter. It's still a chance.
But did you die? No, you didn't die.
I would still have a problem. Absolutely not. If I do not know that you are an expert at a specific thing, like I said, and you looked up like everyone else in the world does to diagnose themselves, look up on WebMD. Oh my gosh, you have a cough, you have this. Oh, that means you have the flu. What if I have the fucking plague? Like, what? No.
Listen, I don't care what you say. In my story, he is a legend. He is a living legend.
Whatever.
He's serving his community and fixing people left and right with no license.
He can go fix you,
and
Brandon.
He got over you guys.
He can go fix you, Brandon.
And he got over you guys for 5 years. He was doing
Absolutely
it.
Not.
Nah, but that's it's crazy.
But listen, it's in Florida though. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's in Florida. Too many. They let too many crazy people go do whatever they want.
And I'm not gonna lie, the funny shit is when I heard that it was in Florida, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Not surprised. That's the same thing I said. I'm like, well, not surprised.
Not surprised. There's a lot of crazy shit going on out there.
So much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would have asked for a referral from my other doctor. Like, nah, I'm not gonna just. Even the doctor I went to recently for my hip, it was a referral from my doctor that. Like even my mom has had for a long time. Like I ain't just gonna go up to nobody and get treated.
Random person. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, medical practice isn't something that practitioners shouldn't be toyed with. Like I again, that's how I know he's a genius / crazy, because you got to have some type of balls to go in and wanting to cut people and just do things with no real medical background. You just did research on the web and figured out how to do or conduct certain procedures. So
he should have just became a relationship guru. He would have gotten away with it.
Word. Or actually, but my thing is I almost look at him as a villain. Like, why couldn't you be a superhero and go fucking use your powers for good? You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have easily went and gone to school. And let's say, student loans are an issue, because that's an issue. I get it.
That's hard times.
But there's grants. I'm sure with his intellect, him planning out this whole business, he could have done something else.
Well, he also could have asked a doctor, be like, listen, I'm not making I can't make enough money to pay for school at the moment, but I still want to learn. Like, what's a way that I can learn? Like, there's certain professions that you can do that.
The professor was probably like, just go cut people.
My gosh.
That's the first way to learn how to do it.
Oh, that's like some underground back alley stuff. Like, let's go find someone to experiment on.
Some Fight Club shit.
I mean, shoot, the government did that to people. They just stole people and experimented on them and all this crazy stuff.
What are your conspiracy theories right now?
It's not conspiracy theories. They're actual stuff out
Erin,
that says that.
I don't want any beef with you. I just want to know what you're talking about right now.
There's documents that came out before that shows that the government has experimented on people without them knowing.
Oh, I wholeheartedly believe that.
That's not conspiracy. There's actual proof that's out there for that.
I'm fucking with you, but I do believe that. I think again, I believe in aliens. I believe in government testing. I believe that cell phones were designed by the government, and the waves that go through the phone that go into your head alter the way your brain thinks, which helps for the government to manipulate you. I think that your social is a tracking device.
Do we have to put tinfoils on our head?
Yo, you may have to. Listen, this shit goes deep. Zoom. You don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Oh, I know it's pretty deep. I just don't want to look down it or fall into it.
Well, I'm just saying.
You still gotta tell that ghost story though. I'm gonna let it not be known. Like I'm here for the fans.
Fans killed me for that, but man.
Yo, they're like, why did you tell a story? You said you were.
It's a traumatizing experience.
No, you seriously gotta tell a story.
I don't want to relive these horrible things that happened to me in my life.
Better yet, we have time. We
got time today.
So much time. We got so much time. Let's switch it up. Let's set the aura.
Well, what do you know? My laptop's dying. So there was an episode for today.
No, absolutely not. Just tell your story. We got time. We got over 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Tell your story.
I'm gonna tell this story.
Yes.
To the listeners out there.
Just imagine it being dark in here.
I'm gonna make this as short as possible with giving much detail. Well, with detail, whatever that means. All right.
What? So you're going to tell a story with no details?
Yeah. So
how the hell are you going to do that?
No, I'm going to give details. God damn it, I'm rambling. All right, so look. So I'm on vacation, and we're in South Carolina, a group of us, and we decided to go to a haunted house. Now, prior to this, I wasn't a very big ghost person. I wasn't really scared of spirituality. Yeah. I believed in ghosts, but I never really thought that shit was like a thing. Cool. So a friend of mine, she says, yo, let's go to this haunted house. I'm thinking that this is a haunted house in the sense of, you go through the house and people dress up and they jump up, boom, motherfucker, like
a haunted house.
Yeah, like a haunted house. Something, I'm with the shits. This is great. I love these. This is great. So we get there, and the guy is, it's a tour, and he's saying, this is the most haunted place in all of America, and, National Geographic and Harvard Business School has studied this, and, they're really interested in these grounds, so this is a really great time. So I'm not paying him any mind at this point. I was drunk. So nevertheless,
drunk.
I wasn't paying any mind. I just was here for the shits. which I got. Anywho, so as we go through, he starts asking me to fill out these medical forms. So he starts asking about my medical history, if I have a pacemaker, all these things. So I'm like, this must really be scary. Oh, man, he's got me now. So I'm still drunk, not paying him any mind. I'm like, yeah, I got all these diseases and shit. I'm dying slow. He's like, no, I'm serious. This is a real thing, and I need to know whether or not you have these concerns or issues. I'm like, no, dude, weirdo. So anywho, fast forwarding, we start to go on to the tour. Yeah. So we go to a haunted house, it wasn't the jail, it was the house. So there's 3 locations. There's a house, a jail, a graveyard, and a police station. The police station is still functioning now in Charleston, South Carolina. Are they
all in the same area?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'll give a little backstory. So the police station is still a police station that is still very occupied by ghosts, natural lives in the world. So nevertheless, so he starts taking us on a tour. So he starts to tell us a story about a woman by the name of Lavinia Fisher. Lavinia Fisher was a serial killer, legitimate serial killer, not me just labeling her. She was a legitimate serial killer. She had a bed and breakfast in South Carolina, ran with her husband. And what they would do is they would kill people and take their money. Like they would, put them up and rob them and then kill them. So one night, a traveler comes by and he says, he looked poor or whatever, and she didn't want to take him. So he asked to make a phone call. He makes a phone call, and she listens in on the phone call and discovers that this guy has acres and he's wealthy. So she puts him up instead because she now sees a ploy to get him. In the midst of that, she used to spike tea. She would spike their tea when drinking it, so she would try to kill him. So after that, she made an attempt to try to kill him, but he got away. And this is the real Cliff Notes version. You can go Google this story. So nevertheless, he gets away. So she is in this jail. So she was killed in the prison where we were at. There was a little boy that.
Wait, you went to the prison or the house?
We went to the prison. I'm calling it a house, but this was the prison where we were.
Oh, okay.
So we're there, and she was killed there, murdered there. A little boy who stole fruit was murdered in this place.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So wow. So the tour guide takes us into 4 different rooms. The first room, he says, "Hey, look, guys, take as many pictures as you want. We want you to get it. You're gonna feel a little different in certain rooms here." So the first room we go into, it's extremely cold. Okay. Extremely cold. But I'm like, man, y'all got the AC on. It ain't cold. Like, whatever. I'm not rolling it. Mind you, it had to be 110 degrees out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No exaggeration in South Carolina. So I'm hot going in. As soon as you go in, I'm like, y'all got the air on. I'm not rolling. Whatever. Go into the second room. It's just a dark room, but it was closed off. And he said that a lot of people have had bad experiences going into this room because a guy with a bayonet, a ghost, would go and try to kill you.
Oh,
and would lunge at you, so they wouldn't let anyone in that room.
Did you want to go in that room, Brandon?
That room, no, I wouldn't. I didn't want this guy to bayonet me. Pause. So I didn't want that guy. You tried to catch me. You tried it. Anywho, so yeah, wasn't doing that. The third room, which was interesting, so it was a cell. It was a cell in a big room. That room was extremely hot, and the guy said, "Hey, look, a lot of you can take pictures in here. A lot of you may start to feel sick. We don't know what's going on in this room. We've never been able to explain it." Harvard or I can't think of what school it was just there at that time, like maybe a week before, doing a study on that room to try to study the activity in the room because they can't figure it out. So as soon as we go in there, I feel the heat. So I'm like, oh shit, this is, and you can feel the energy, if that makes sense. Like you can just feel it. And at first I thought maybe it was just my imagination. And now by this time I'm sobering up because shit is starting to get real. So I'm like, all right, whatever. This ain't no big deal. A woman comes out and her state start to extremely get sick. Like extremely sick. So now I'm like, oh.
Like throwing up and stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit much now. This is a lot. So I tried to take pictures. None of my pictures came out when I was in the room. One woman's phone wouldn't turn on. Another guy, his phone started getting extremely hot as if it was overheating. My phone, I took a bunch of pictures. None of them came out to what I thought. So fast forward and we go down to the last room. The last room is the torture room. The torture room is a big room. It's like a hallway. and there was a big drain, and then the room next to it was a room that again was locked off. It was blocked off. Something had happened in that room. They wouldn't tell us. Till this day, I don't know what happened in the room, but something bad happened in that room where it was off limits. No one could go in there.
Wait, someone happened to like someone on the tour, or
yes, something happened to someone on the tour,
and they probably got possessed.
It was their butcher room, and they would not. There was a big padlock on it, heavy padlock on it. I'm prefacing that for a reason. So, fast forward just a little bit more. So as we're standing there, he's wrapping up the guide, the tour, or whatever, and there's a little boy there with his mom, and he's standing kind of close to the door where the big padlock is, but nothing. I see where the kid is. So everyone now is freaked out because people are throwing up, and the whole energy in that room was just crazy. The lock starts to move. Now, when I say this lock was extremely heavy, people, this was not no ordinary lock. It was a big... Not
no locker lock.
Yeah, no, not no chump. Like, this was a lock. The lock starts to move. So the woman yells at her son. She says, "What are you doing? Why are you touching stuff?" And I said, "Ma'am, he didn't touch that lock." Literally, a big gust of cold air goes past all of us. The lock stops moving.
Ooh.
Now I'm nervous. I'm like, all right, fam, get me out of here. That's not even a half. I'm going to end the story now. So leaving the prison, we're all a little freaked out. So the tour guide was like, "Hey, guys, check your phones. Let's see what you guys got." So I'm like, I don't got anything. Now, he told me about orbs, which I should have mentioned early on. But orbs, there's different color orbs. There's like a yellow orb. There's like a white orb, a purple orb. But that means it's almost like a sun glare. When you take a picture of a sun, you see those little sprinkles. But they look different. I had a few of those on my pictures, right? So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I'm scrolling by, and the tour guide says, "Oh, let me see that picture." And I said, "What?" It's just I took a picture of the outside of the prison. He said, let me see the picture. And I said, okay. So as he zooms in, I see a figure of the woman, Lavinia Fisher, and the little boy. Oh. Let me line some dots for you. This was the 25th anniversary of that tour. It was on the 25th day that we went. It was on the 25th time, the last time that they'd ever even seen her, and the first time that the little boy was ever spotted in the jail. The boy has always been seen in the graveyard. He's never been seen in the jail. The picture that I had, the tour people, they kept calling us. It was like, National Geographic wants to see it, and we want you to come back down. We were freaked out. My whole crew that I vacationed with already, like we were freaked out, and we never went back. And they kept calling and wanting us to come.
Why didn't you just email the photo?
Because I am a black man in the South, and I was already worried. It was.
You could do anonymous.
Oh my God,
you could
no!
Do
but
anonymously?
even scratch that. So then, after this, now I'm sober, but I want to drink more. So we go back to the bar.
Yeah.
And the waitress comes over and she says, "Hey, you guys look like you've seen a ghost." And I said, "Ha ha 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 ha! We actually have." Like I got a leg up on her. Oh, she says, "Oh, okay. Well, if you go into the bathroom after midnight, you'll meet Lucy, the normal ghost in there. That when you go to wash your hands, she jumps out at you." So I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah." She was like, "Don't you know the rumors in the city are true? This is the most haunted place in the world."
Charleston,
South Carolina.
I'm checking that off of my vacation
So
list.
I say that to say, people, do your research on Charleston, South Carolina. The haunted houses are in fact real haunted houses and haunted establishments. The story is really more in depth than that, but for time purposes, obviously, I was trying to skim this down.
Damn, Brandon. You need to get the photo.
Yeah, I have the photo. I still have the photo.
Yo, we should put the photo.
I don't know.
Boom.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing that. Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. I'll think about it. Nevertheless, from that day forward, ghosts are some real shit. I don't fuck with them. I respect their space and their peace. And that was my ghost story. Yeah. There's so many more layers to this, though.
I'm not surprised.
There really is. Like, I wanted to tell the full story of how Lavinia got killed. I want you guys to just go Google it. It's public knowledge. I never got the little boy's name because by that time,
you were just like, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
Like we were all just ready to leave. It was too much going on. Everyone was scared at this point. Like it was a lot going on. It was a very interesting night and changed my perspective on just life and energy and things like that for me. It was really, really intense. It really was. And I know for maybe even people in the room, you know, our crew and people that are listening, I don't really give two shits if y'all believe me or not. I could care less.
Nas is like, absolutely not.
Nas, so you guys, you heard him on the other episode. He doesn't believe in anything. He's a serial killer. But nevertheless, I don't care what I listen. The look on these people's faces, the phone calls that were made, the constant effort to bring us back out to get this picture, a lot of the events that I had to leave out, just again for time purposes, that happened that night, led me to believe that this was some real shit. And then doing my due diligence and then searching that Harvard and all of these other Ivy League schools actually do study the area where we were, and or that prison in particular, because there's a lot of anomalies that happen there that they can't explain, led me to believe that, yeah, this is it was deep. It was some real shit.
Got real out there in those Charleston streets.
Man. Street ghosts ain't no joke, man. It's real out here.
Don't be playing with them ghosts. They're gonna run up on you.
Yeah, man. So that was
they're gonna do a ghost by.
Yo, you playing?
I've dealt with that stuff. But not a drive by, a ghost by.
I see what you did there.
No, listen, I'm not making fun of you. I've had my own individual experiences, more so when I was a kid. So I believe in that stuff too. I don't really care what anyone says, and if you don't believe in it, trust me, you don't really want to always see that stuff.
Yeah, I'll just caution you guys by saying be careful what you wish for, because I was talking hella shit. It's like, I wish a ghost would approach me. What? In the streets? Huh? On vacation?
Yo, they waited for you outside the door too.
And I got the Henny in the system. It's lit. Nah, it wasn't lit. There was nothing lit about it.
Yo, they legit came at you like the goon squad. They waited outdoor for you. They said, what?
Yeah, no, that was the most humbling experience in my life. Legitimate. It was humbling.
Just don't be drunk going to no haunted houses anymore, Brandon. Or that was the part that was like, he really was drunk and went. Like, what?
Because I thought it was a joke, man. I didn't take it. I never took any of that serious. Like really serious to the extent where I would have an experience. Like you watch Unsolved Mysteries and all these crazy Goosebumps, all types of stupid shit that you watch when you're a kid, and you're like, oh, that's not real. So that was me. I went in very ignorant to that, and then I think we all did at that time. Like, we all went into it like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it turned out to be something different. So, I mean, lesson learned for me. Mm-hmm. I'm good money.
Don't be going drunk to places. You never know.
Yeah.
You don't want no Lucy or anyone popping out at you.
Yeah, no, not happening. So on to a lighter topic. Industry talk.
You're welcome, fans.
Yeah, thank Erin for that, because I wasn't going to tell that shit. Anywho, industry talk. So we kind of got industry talk today.
Yeah.
We got industry talk, man. Hey, you ever been, for those people out there, let me cue you guys into industry talk. Industry talk is when you bump into a celebrity or somebody of some stature, and they say, yeah, man, I'm going to help you. We're going to be on your show. We're going to do these things. You know what that is? That's industry talk, Martin. It's not real. It's Hollywood swinging. Martin, classic Martin, Tommy Davidson. Martin thinks that, Tommy Davidson invites him onto the show. Tommy did not want him on the show. He was just industry talking. That's what happened to us, ladies and gentlemen.
That happens a lot, too.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people that mean what they say. Like, I'm someone that means what I say. Like, if I don't answer you back right away, I do apologize. I may just have been busy.
No,
that's all.
That's interesting.
But no. I do try and get back to people as much as I can. I do. You can ask anyone. But there are people that will be like, oh, yeah, let's stay in touch. Yeah. That means I don't want to stay in touch.
I don't want to stay in touch.
What's another one? Yo, let's work. Yeah, that's another big one. Let's work.
Let's work. Let's link. Let's build.
Let's collab.
Collab is great. Yo, we should collab on something.
Yeah. Let's get some work together.
Yeah.
Just email me at nevercallmeback@gmail.com.
Yeah. So for the listeners out there, we want to help you guys in pointing out some key things that you may have been given in your life, thinking that people were going to help you and they weren't. So number one on the list, collab. Yeah. Someone says they want to collab with you. They don't want to collab with you. It's not a thing. Number two, if they want to talk about, hey, we should link, they don't want to link.
Unless they tell somewhere specific. If they're like, let's link this Friday at this place, cool. But if they're like, oh yeah, let's def link up whenever, you know, I have free time.
Yeah, no.
They don't have free time.
Yeah, no. Or when someone says, yo, we should do some things, that just means they really don't have anything else that they can say in their bag of tricks of the Hollywood swinging. So they just say, we should do some things.
Yo, I'm like,
yeah. So
what is that something?
Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of crazy.
It's
yeah,
a little crazy.
A little bit much.
Oh, my favorite thing is when there's dudes that come up to women and do mad like name dropping and everything like that. They'll do so much name dropping. And me, I'm like, because I had one guy. Listen, ready? I had one guy. Told me he worked at Def Jam, that he knew this person, he knew that person, knew this person. You know what I did? I called someone that I knew who knew people at Def Jam, and I said, is this person actually working there? Right in front of them. And they were like, I've never heard of him. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. You work at Def Jam, but apparently you don't. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, no, I work for someone who's, I'm like, industry talk. Okay, yeah. We should have like that voice thing where he presses goes boom, 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 yeah, industry talk.
We gonna get some, I'm telling you, we're going to figure out some sound effects on here.
We need that.
Now that we're remote, we got to figure out sound effects. I got so many great sound effects.
Yo, what if we did that when a guest came in? They're like, oh yeah, I love your podcast. Industry talk.
We're industry talk.
Now, we love our guests though, but we would do that jokingly though.
Yeah, fuck that.
There's so much industry talk.
I mean that shit.
But I think industry talk is super funny, like when you're in the industry and people people don't. There've been people who come up to me as if they like I'm not in the industry, and they'll do the industry talk or they'll act like they know someone. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
It's the classic. We should do lunch line. Yeah, we should get together and do lunch.
See, I got dinner. They trying to.
Oh no, they were trying to smash. I'm saying like normally it's like, hey, we should do lunch type of thing. They were trying to do some other shit with you.
Usually though, when people say let's do coffee, they actually follow through. Most people that have said like, oh, let's grab some coffee, they've actually followed through with getting coffee. Lunch though, I don't know. For me, I can't trust lunch entirely, and I definitely cannot trust dinner.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
If you're going to be doing dinner, let's go to a high-end restaurant where I buy the most expensive thing on that menu. So if you fuck around, at least I got a good meal from it.
I ain't saying she a gold digger. She ain't
messing with no broke. Nah, but that's just like, yo, you trying to trick me and stuff like that? Yeah, like, damn, at least I'm gonna get a good meal from it.
That's
hell
wild.
No.
Wild.
That is bugging.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I guess that's our episode for today. Nice, fun topics. Erin got the pull out of my ghost story.
Yeah, I needed to tell that.
You mad hype.
Listen, I'm gonna be asking you more once we get offline.
Yeah, I know you will.
I'm excited for this.
All right, no. Do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button, people. YouTube. What is it? Grassroots Podcast.
Yeah, youtube.com/grassroots podcast. Instagram is grassroots podcast. Twitter is grassroots pod. Didn't want to be too long. It was back when we didn't have 280 characters. So, all right, people.
Had to change it up.
Had to allow you guys a tweet.
Thank y'all for listening. Once again, I'm Brandon Killabh.
And I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
And we out.
Yeah.